Hello world, hello Zion, it's Prince Easy coming at you again. And as usual, I do have a couple slides that I want to share with you in this fine day here. Right? So let's get to it, right? So this issue has been evolving and even I would say evolving out of shape, right? Out of shape. The focus is lost, right? But to some it's not really. What do I mean? Well, I think the conversation has, I don't know if it's called evolving or devolving into other things, and that is not rather productive. But what should be discussed is what happened on the 29th, right? And of course, most importantly, all of these accusations that have been put forward, right? The pressure should be focused on the people who are saying that, for instance, all of these companies that were affected, right? What was the evidence, right? You need to point out that people are overly emotional in this whole subject and they're not really using common sense in whatever approach. You can't even reason with people. Like they think that my rights are the only rights that should be, right? And those with cooler heads are seen as, I don't know, whatever. But at the end of the day, like I said, they went into this by fundamentally denying other people's rights. This is what this happened, right? They needed a reform in the electoral committee. The committee, you sat down, you had conversations, you had suggestions, and all of them were implemented. But still, this is not about talks. This is not about conversations. This is about power, right? And President Samia, you cannot make this mistake a second time like this, right? The first time you called for peace, they came, you sat down, you had conversations, they had their opinions, they aired their opinions. But this is not about that, right? This whole situation is a power play. It's a power play, okay? So you cannot then go along with their power play because whatever they are doing, their end result is them being in power. Okay, so whatever happens in between, that is not as important as the why, right? And the why is that they need to have control of this country and they're gonna use any reasons, right? Pitting Christians and Muslims, pitting political parties, they will do anything and everything at their disposal to do that and accomplish that, what they are doing. Right? So again, we should be asking these people who came out and said all of those things that they said that led to those events. Give us the proof. You are connecting this company to this politician. Please present your evidence, or else it will be pointless, right? So again, we need to maintain focus, right, and challenge this over emotionness and counter this over emotion with intellect, right? Intellectual conversations, and I'm seeing them coming up after these rough 2 days, right? Some intelligent conversations are now coming up. So this didn't happen here. Well, the Dutch, My question is, who suggested that you do this? Because you have to have some backing, either the EU or wherever. Who suggested that you could do this and it was a good idea for you to do this? This is not China's fault or anything of sort. So I don't know what's up with quote unquote women and politics. Not just women, no, celebrity women in politics, right? One day it's Sweeney and the jeans commercial controversy, and now it's Nicki Minaj talking about what is happening in Nigeria. Okay. So they are formalizing a new partnership to boost security, green energy, and digital transformation, respectively. Where do you think most money is going to be spent on? They just keep finding out secrets, right? They keep discovering and talking about secrets in detail, right? They went over there in secret to get laser technology. So is it a secret? I don't know. Yeah. Yeah. It's not even... Well, the last video I had 2 links in my description, and one of the links was talking about this whole situation, so I'm not even gonna cover it, right? Yeah. Syria now has to sign the accords and stuff. Well, while this was happening, 1.7, the Senate of the Americans took it upon themselves to talk about what is happening over here in Africa, in Tanzania, and not talk about this. But hey, this is all China, bad China. Look at this. Have we seen such propaganda before? Yes, we have. We shall come back to this. They are debating if they could execute another people's, not their own people, no, other people's. Look at that. They are saying that these historical facts were being kept, right? They were being kept. Look at that. I don't see no... We have had these conversations before, right? The true Israelites were melanated people, and every depiction that followed after that, and every organizations that endorse that image are at fault, regardless. Look at that. Spy ship has lasers and stuff, right? Just like might be they are carrying that Iranian laser, it might be that Iranian secret laser, that nuclear secret laser from the Iranians. Right? This is what... Wow, look at that. Now they are throwing these words, right? Just like the other time we covered Waki, right? Marjorie Taylor Greene, right? That character assassination, right? And what do we have here? Now he's a communist from a Sharia law in New York now to a communist. I don't know if the two are compatible, but hey. Huh? Yeah, I think making or rather defending a genocide in your constitution by the law will not work out well. What do I know? They're still calling it a ceasefire. Still calling it. Do you know what ceasefire means? Do we need to teach these people English or something? I think this is high literacy or something. Well, I saw this situation. Right? So, well, what does the contract of marriage say? Let's go back to that, right? Does the marriage break after the person is declared medically dead or just dead? Because those are two different things, right? We're talking about contractual law here. This is how fight is gonna spiral, brothers and sisters, right? Look at that. Russia quiet defeat, right? They are losing to JNIM in Mali over here. Please pay attention, right? Look at them guys, you know. This is Wagner badge, if I'm not mistaken, right? They're saying Russia is losing, right? It has nothing to do with the Malian army. They're incompetent, right? They cannot do anything without Putin, you know. So again, Putin is losing. Russia is quietly losing in Mali. Why would they be happy and glad to report this? I don't know. Maybe they see a world where after Putin loses, peace comes and democracy and stuff. Hey, look at that. And also this, came across this. This is gonna be a thing. Right? Like I say, it's gonna be a thing. These here videos. Right? So, President Donald Trump authorized Witkoff, right, to talk to Zelensky and make a deal, right? So they have, I don't know, like they say, extended the olive branch, right? So Witkoff is having no luck whatsoever here, right? And here, right? So let's see what this is about. We have not been briefed on this. That's what they say, right? And of course, Yvette Cooper, interesting name, right? They are accusing Putin for rebuffing all of Trump's peace efforts and choosing war instead, right? Of course, the European approach, right? The European approach is to pressure Putin through economic sanctions and support Ukraine to come back to the table for peace talks, right? So this is what they believe, and this is how they think, truly. I do believe it, right? The Russians have already clearly identified Witkoff, right, as someone who is willing to promote their interests, right? Now he's a Russian agent, right? Not only a Middle Eastern envoy, who is also happens to be a Jew. That's a whole other thing, right? Said one EU defense official, right? These hypocrites, they can't even have a proper conviction to come outside and say, like, Europeans have not been consulted on this. Wow, the nerve. Anyway, But their wing inside the White House, who for some time have seen Europeans as spoilers in the peace process. So in a way, it is not surprising, right? Look at that. Right? This is what they're saying. This is what RFI is telling the French people. You must accept to lose your children. Okay? You must accept to lose your children. It's okay. Tanzania, have you heard this rhetoric before? It's okay. Okay? So what do we have here? Kenya, of course. Some individuals sat down in Kenya and said they have collected enough evidence so as they can send our president to the ICC court. I'm just informing you of what is happening. And what is also happening within the last 24 hours, Zambia, Tanzania, and China, of course, have signed the most important deal in the tech industry in Africa. It is just a big deal generally, a big deal to revamp Tazara, right? Tazara, this is a railway built a long time ago. It goes on, it connects the coast of Africa to the interior of Africa. So they signed a deal today to start revamping that, and it's a good thing. So in the same tone, we have this guy here, Reri Madowo, who is also Kenyan, I suspect, right? He says he works for CNN, right? He says now he has completed, he said he would do this investigation, right? He's doing this investigation to the Tanzanian post-election violence, right? And of course, the documentary is out to the world right now, right? And of course, this is investigative journalism, okay? So on the far top, we have what the Syrians are saying, and below, more is being revealed, right? More is being revealed. Who is paying who? So now it's a whole NATO movement, right? So apparently, somebody ordered the withdrawal of the soldiers just before. Okay. Wow. Now they are realizing that the bubble has already burst and they're going to lose a lot of money. But they think it's not too late. Right? That bubble started bursting with that one DeepSeek, right? That's when the whole thing right? So the president of our country recently came out and said, of course, after questioning the people who were captured, some of them completely said that indeed they were paid. They were paid to do this in advance, in fact, not just being paid after the fact, no, in advance, right? So this is what is unfolding in Tanzania. Okay, CNN News 18, right? This is important, right? We have 25K views. Tanzania horror revealed. Mass grave exposed, right? Again, we come back with that whole same rhetoric again. Mass graves and stuff, right? And these are the protests, right? You see that fire over there? This is what a protest look like, right? Okay, Kenyan media, as you can see, bad news in Tanzania. And of course, If I translate to Samia atumia Waislamu kukata Wakristo vichwa. Waislamu wasema watakata Watanganyika vichwa. Okay, in the first day I covered this whole situation. I said there are two phases. Right, the first phase is that political push. It has failed. Now they are going after Muungano. I remember saying this explicitly. So let me translate to you what they're saying. So they're saying that President Samia has chosen Muslims to behead the Christians, and the Muslims say they are gonna behead the Tanganyikans, right? The language, important. This is what the Kenyan media is saying, that the president here has organized and basically conspired with the Muslims to behead Christians, right? When? December 9th, right? That's when they have planned their next operation, right, to wreak havoc in our country. And there are big statements coming out, right? After they were told to hand over their weapons, some of individuals came out with strong opinions, right? Strong opinions is for their own protection, they say. Right? This is his channel, this Larry guy, right? CNN Tanzania investigations finds police killed protesters and mass graves. Right? They saw these mass graves, and of course the protesters were killed, right, as you can see there. Of course, moving on, in also Kenya, right, as you can see, right, I took this, let me show you, right, 21st around 7:44 p.m. right? So the Kenyan activists have protested in Kenya, right? And what they are concerned about is the killings that happened in Tanzania, right? And this also situation came out here, right? Of course, you call them Western. Of course, they are Western. They are not world sanctions. They are Western. You chose to do this. You didn't choose for everybody else. But again, they're still delusional, right? And of course, circling back to that whole ordeal that I was talking about prior, he's not happy. He's not happy. He wants to kill those detainees. He wants them dead. Right? That's what he wants. And of course, these are the pictures that came out after the signing of this huge deal. Huge deal. Right? So we have the Chinese representative on the far right, we have the Tanzanian representative, in the middle we have the president of Zambia. Right? So yeah. So let me finish up. So of course, we talk about delusions in this channel here, right? But delusions and power mixed together, very dangerous combo. Right? Listen to this lady here.
Of course, the countries, Cuba, Venezuela, and Nicaragua, with Russia relationships. Why this region matters, with all of its rich resources and rare earth elements.
You are not supposed to have Russian relationships. If you have a relationship with the US, you are not supposed. This is the capitalist thinking, right? This is the capitalist thinking. And if you come with this type of thinking in Africa, the land will literally spew you out. It will literally spew you out. It always has to be somebody versus somebody, this versus that, that versus that. Why is it? Why is it necessary? It is stupid, literally. So what? Russia has taken up all of the opportunities that you could have had in Cuba, in Nicaragua, and all of these places that you have mentioned here. Is that the case, that there are no more business opportunities to be done? Or is it that you are a weak nation that cannot compete, so all you do is sabotage your competitors, and at the end of the day, still a loser? What are you? I'm trying to understand, right?
You've got the lithium triangle, which is needed for technology today. 60% of the world's lithium is in the lithium triangle: Argentina, Bolivia, Chile. You just have the largest. Bolivia, Chile.
All of these countries, they're gonna face some things in the near future. Believe me, they have planned this out.
You just have the largest oil reserves, light sweet crude.
Light sweet crude, the language that they and what happened in Guyana. Do you remember what happened to the melanated people over there in Guyana? War.
Discovered off of Guyana over a year ago. You have Venezuela's
I can't even.
resources as well, with oil, copper, gold. We have the Amazon, lungs of the world. We have the 31%.
Who is this we? Who is this we? He's talking about these things as if they are theirs. Right? She's talking as if these things belong to America. This is the language that is being used here.
The world's fresh water in this region too. I mean, it's just off the charts. We have a lot to do. This region matters. It has a lot to do with national security.
They have also said this about Africa, right? It's important to their national security, right? And it was a whole senator hearing or something. And of course, who is the one speaking is the means of how they're gonna get what they wanna get, right? Guns.
And we need to step up our game.
And what do they mean, step up your game? Look, there's a lot of madness and deception going on out there. And it's that time, it's that time. It's a war. And now this is the fog of war that we are experiencing as of now. So yeah, I just wanted to update you on what is happening and unfolding right in front of our eyes. So yeah, see you when you see me. Prince Easy, love you, signing out. Bye.